everyone, welcome back to the channel, and once again we are talking Tears of the Kingdom. We have a few updates on this game, and man, Nintendo is not happy. So if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. I will be covering Tears of the Kingdom all the way up until launch and beyond. This is definitely one of my most anticipated games. So today is a pretty interesting day, and it's kind of been crazy because we have been getting update after update, developing stories pretty much the whole, the past week. Every day is different. Today mainly has been about the game leaking online. There are several people streaming it, making videos on it, which I think is very foolish. I'll get to that later. But I want to continue a developing story that I've been covering pretty much all week, and that is about a Mercari seller who was actually selling physical copies of Tears of the Kingdom, posting as early as the 29th, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that's more than 2 weeks before the game is actually out. Now, we were following this story. It started with 1 listing and then went to 2, then went to 3. There was 5 total listings for Tears of the Kingdom, but I have a huge update for you and an exclusive story. So if you go to the seller now on Mercari, there seems to be 3 listings that are missing. There are still 2 sold listings for $300 each, but now there are 3 missing listings. And I thought that was very, very odd. And I kind of wanted to look into it, but I had no other information until today, when someone who actually bought from that seller reached out to me and sent me a screenshot of an email that they got. I'll put the email on the screen for you. Transaction canceled. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I will block out the username just for privacy reasons. We wanted to let you know that your order has been canceled. Refunds take around 5 to 10 business days, blah, blah, blah. That's Mercari's policy there. Now, as you can see, they did pay. This is proof of them purchasing from that seller. Seller says Blue Star right there, which is the seller. Says the item price, and they used PayPal to pay for it. Now, I was talking to this person more, and they go on to say that Mercari was the one who canceled the order and not the seller, which means there was a third party involved, basically going against Mercari's terms of service, which then voided out the sale of this game. Now, Nintendo has been cracking down and taking more action than just this, but I think this is very interesting how the person literally reached out to me, and the fact that their sale was blocked by Mercari and they got a refund is very, very telling. Now, the other notable thing, this person who bought the item got a shipping notification that the item was in transit. So not only did the item cancel and the person got a refund, the person that ordered this game may get the game with the refund. So this is just a great day for us because we're seeing someone who scalped these games, 5 games for a total of $1,300, by the way. They were marking them up to $300. They started with $100. And it looks like Mercari is stepping in, and you got to assume via Nintendo is blocking these sales. And this seller I'm surprised their selling page is still up. They violated Mercari's terms of service. Their sales are being blocked. Their customers are getting refunded, but it looks like the item is still in transit, which is very interesting. I think the whole Mercari seller story is pretty much put to bed unless they list more games and try to get rid of that. But it looks like Nintendo is definitely cracking down on sort of the early release copies. In other news, Tears of the Kingdom is exploding, especially today. And it's exploding on Twitch, YouTube, and especially Discord. People are streaming it on their own Discords, having watch parties and things like that. Now, obviously, early coverage and early streams and videos is foolish, but I guess if you have to do it, Discord is probably the way. Now, the interesting thing is a lot of people are actually streaming this on Twitch, and within 30 minutes, their streams are getting taken down. I have even seen some videos on YouTube where people are uploading playthroughs already, It's just not the right move. Nintendo, especially on YouTube, which is why I don't show a lot of leaks or anything in my videos, Nintendo will take your video down instantly. These videos that are up will be down within the day or so. So what does this all mean? Well, obviously Nintendo does not want you to put up any gameplay, any cutscenes, any spoilers whatsoever. And if they can, they will step in and try to stop it. Obviously, this is a losing battle for Nintendo. The files of the game were uploaded today, and a lot of people, of course, are downloading them. And you know what? If they upload them to other social media sites, Nintendo can try their best to take these things down. But man, so once something is on the internet, it is pretty much there forever. And yeah, Nintendo can only do so much. Now, in terms of these Mercari and eBay sellers, you do have to look at something which I didn't even think of. I actually read it in a comment on one of my past videos. The sellers are posting the serial numbers, and I don't know a ton about the retail space and serial numbers in general, but Nintendo could track these back to the original source and possibly take legal action. So it looks like the floodgates are open to this game. And it's kind of odd because a major game that I can think of, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, leaked, I would say like a week before launch. And Zelda being an even bigger game, maybe that's why it's happening, is pretty much leaked over 2 weeks before the game comes out, which is very wild to me. And the fact that people are still sort of pushing the limits, even me making a video on this where I'm showing like screenshots and different things, like that's a risk. But people making playthroughs, extended, cutscenes, they're uploading pretty much everything, is very foolish in my opinion. One thing I will say without leaking anything or spoiling anything is that I have looked into some early gameplay. It's just very hard to avoid. And you know what? If a video pops up on my feed or someone sends me a link, it's very hard for me to not click on it. But what I will say about Tears of the Kingdom, and this is not a spoiler, but the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom is interesting to say the least. I'm not going to go into details, but the start of the game is something that I was not expecting, and a lot of you guys will not expect as well. It's, without spoiling anything, it's just, it makes sense, but it's kind of weird for a Zelda game to start like this. Anyway, if I go on any longer, I'm going to spoil something. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Nintendo taking action. This is basically Nintendo versus leakers. And you know what? Leakers are going to win. There's less than 2 weeks. Nintendo can't possibly stop everything. Just thought it was interesting enough to bring it up to you. Thank you again for my mysterious source for sending that email over. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.